Welcome to Deep Thoughts on Promotion and Tenure Portfolios. Given our current practice with portfolios, we find that in our faculty manual, interim tenure is reviewed with an acknowledgement of satisfactory in all areas, satisfactory with qualifications, mixed performance, and unsatisfactory. Meanwhile, promotion and/or tenure portfolios are either approved or not. This leads to a huge question of how the Personnel Committee comes to the recommendation to approve or not to approve. How does the quality of an artifact factor into the decision-making process? Does the presentation of the portfolio itself influence perceptions? And what about reflectivity and insight? In other words, what really counts? And should some things count more than others? These questions lead to an examination of what's been missing when evaluating portfolios, and it's something that may be controversial, namely the systematic and systemic use of rubrics. It's important to recognize the strength of a well-designed rubric. They can help to determine gradients of performance. They can provide clear expectations and a map for continued growth, including beyond the post-tenure years. Rubrics help to clarify the perceptions of the evaluators. And a rubric could lay the groundwork for being able to credit and reward exceptionality. Of course, the follow-up question would be, does it make sense to use them when the ultimate decision is a simple yes or no? For faculty under review, the qualities and nuances of a portfolio are part and parcel to our discussions on teaching, scholarship, and service. The rubric merely cues and articulates explanations that are already germane to the decision-making process. Moreover, the holistic process of portfolio evaluation is longitudinal and continuous, looking back on our careers from the standpoint of interim tenure, tenure and promotion, full professorship, and even post-tenure evaluations. And although tenure might be considered the end game, even summative evaluations can be used formatively, in that they can certainly influence and inform your future practice. Giving a thumbs up versus giving a thumbs up with substantive and specific qualitative and quantitative feedback can create two different trajectories for continuing a career, with the former, the thumbs up only, supporting and perhaps even endorsing the stereotyping of a tenured professor who has, quote, checked out. So, here's a starting point for thinking about a rubric to evaluate portfolios. For each of the categories of teaching, scholarship and creative works, and service and advising, we could assign the first two levels according to whether or not the candidate meets minimum standards. Thus, for promotion and/or tenure, the candidate could not score below a 1 in any category. Then, we can create advanced levels with criteria that indicates excellence and exceptionality. These advanced levels could build upon level 1, and thereby we would be creating a rubric that can be considered a value-added assessment tool. This is a lot to ponder, so we'll conclude this segment of Deep Thoughts.